The next question is platform selection. Now, I have discussed this in a few workshops that I've conducted. And if you've attended my workshops, you would know that what platform to select when. Okay. But I'm still going to run you through this entire thing so that we are not missing out on anything. So what is this? This is basically for you to decide which digital platform to choose in order to advertise. Okay. Now, if you are working in the primary market where 90% of the realtors in India are working in the primary market, you need to focus on these two platforms, right? Google Ads and Meta Ads. Now, Google Ads consists of Google and YouTube both. Meta Ads consists of Facebook and Instagram both. Okay. The third kind of ad or the third kind of platform is LinkedIn, but LinkedIn doesn't work for real estate in India. It's extremely expensive first. Second, anybody who can buy real estate is not very active on LinkedIn. They check LinkedIn only for certain updates and they do not really engage with any other ads. So that is the reason LinkedIn ads don't really work for India very well. And is the reason you need to pick between Google ads and Meta ads. Now, which platform to choose is something that's critical. Why? Because if you get this wrong, you will probably not get anything right in your entire marketing campaign. Okay. So let's focus on when to choose which platform, one platform at a time. Let's start with Google Ads, right? So now what are Google Ads and when do you use them? Google Ads are to be used when your developer does traditional marketing for the project, right? You've got a developer, the project that you've selected has a particular developer, right? Now, understand that we are doing this after selecting a project, right? So now the developer, if the developer does traditional marketing, but that is branding, outdoor marketing, things like newspaper ads, radio ads, newspaper inserts, outdoor hoardings, exhibitions, all of these things, all of these various things if the developer is doing that, that is exactly when you need to understand that you can jump onto Google Ads. Okay. Very, very simple. You can jump onto Google Ads. Then there's a error here. I need to fix this. That is when you use Google Ads. Okay. Now, why do I say so? Is because Google Ads are search-based ads, right? People are going to search. There are other types of Google Ads as well. We are going to talk about Google Ads, run Google Ads when we get into that section. But majorly, Google Ads are search-based ads. So what happens here is what exactly people are searching are the kind of projects they are going to see. Okay. So keywords are formed when people search about something. And for keywords to be formed, there needs to be awareness, right? For example, my name is Nishant. And if I become a developer and I say that Nishant Realty has launched an XYZ project in Pune, what happens is that if I don't market it and if I don't use traditional marketing mediums, people will never know about this project by Nishant Realty. And because there is so much of supply and there are other projects in the market, you would probably never know about my project. And if you don't know about my project, why would you even go and search about my project, right? So building awareness is extremely important. And that is something a developer can do. A channel partner can't build awareness traditionally because it is very expensive. And channel partners are not paid so high that they do that work also for developers, right? So that is where you need to figure out that, see, if you're a developer, you need to form a strategy accordingly that you work on traditional marketing, because only then you're going to help your Google Ads, or that is when Google Ads are going to be profitable. If you're a channel partner, work with a developer who invests in traditional marketing, right? Now, what happens is Google Ads has two kinds of keywords, right? Because they are keyword based ads, they've got two kinds of keywords majorly. One is a branded keyword and the other is a generic keyword. Okay. Now, branded keywords are keywords where you talk about brands per se, and you mentioned that that's an example that I've put in. Loda Hinjewadi is a branded keyword, right? Because there's a brand and there is a, like you see Loda Hinjewadi, it's a branded keyword. There is a brand and there is a location, right? Similarly, Godrej Vikhroli is a brand and a location. So why would people search about this? Is because they are very clear. They've heard of this Godrej Vikhroli project and they quickly want to know more about it, is when they're going to clearly search about it. So when they are searching about Godrej Vikhroli, even if they see an ad by Nishant Realty, it will never make sense to them because they are focused on that particular branded keyword, right? On the other hand, generic keywords are keywords like 2 BHK in Hinjewadi, flats in Vikhroli, these keywords, right? Now, what happens here is in these keywords, it's critical for you to understand that there is heavy competition because you're not restricting this to any particular developer or any particular project. Okay, I'll explain how. Suppose, for example, in every project, there are 25 marketers. Okay. See, there are competitors as well who market on the same project. So for example, if I'm working on, say, a project by Sobha Realty in Pune, and I also want to target keywords which are starting with Lodha, right? Because I think my target audience is the same. So my competition keywords will also consist of Lodha, right? Even if I'm not running ads for Lodha. So including competition, for example, understand that there are 25 marketers for each and every project, right? Now, what happens in branded keywords is when you are working on a keyword which is branded keyword, you are restricting yourself to competing with people who are competing with that particular brand. So 25 people you're competing with. Now on the first page of Google, how many ads would you see, right? So say for example, if I go on to Google and I say 2 BHK in Hinjewadi, right? Now let's see how many ads do we see. There's one ad here. Oh, this is my ad only. There's one ad here, sponsored 2, sponsored 3, sponsored 4, right? And if I go at the bottom of the page, there is sponsored 5, there's sponsored 6, right? So on the first page of Google, where there are 10 listings available, I am seeing 6 ads right now. It could be anywhere from 1 to 7, the number of sponsored ads. It depends on the kind of search volumes there are. Generally for real estate, if it's a good location, etc., there are a lot of there are a lot of ads. Okay. Now what is happening is everybody wants to be on the first page. Nobody wants to be on the second page of Google, right? And specifically so, if you're paying Google certain money, if you're investing in ads, you want to be on the first page because that is only when you think it is going to be profitable, right? Now, and that is not wrong, right? You are entitled to think that way. Now, the point here is that because nobody wants to be on the second page and everybody wants to be on the first page, you are competing with, on an average, 5 slots on the first page of Google, 5 sponsored ad slots, right? So here, if you are competing with 25 marketers for a branded keyword, you are competing with 25 for 5 slots. On the other hand, on generic, you've got probably 10 projects in a particular location, right? Now, because you're not restricting it to a brand or a developer, so you are not talking about the location. And because it is about the location, you are basically competing with 10 different projects. If every project has 25 different marketers, we are talking about a competition with 250 marketers. Whereas there are still only 5 slots on an average that you get on the first page. So here your competition is for against 250 marketers for only 5 slots. Is the reason generic keywords are usually very expensive. Generally, these keywords are where the competition is extremely high, and because the competition is high, the cost per lead, CPLs, or cost per leads, are higher. Okay, because you get into a bid war. We will understand more about this when we do Google Ads. What are bid wars, and how do you know that what rank your ad is going to be at, and all of those things, right? We'll understand more about it when we do Google Ads. But this is just for you to understand what platform to select. Right now, for branded, at the same time, the competition is lesser, and because the competition is lesser, your cost per lead is lower. And understand that the intent in branded keywords is much higher. The person who's searching something is going to be quickly intention is to search for that particular project. So if you have an ad which talks about Lodha Hinjewadi, yeah, they're going to very high chances that they're going to click on your ad and get onto your landing page, right? So that is why and how you should run Google Ads profitably. And when should you use them is to be used when your developer does traditional marketing for the project. Okay, this is the bottom line. Now, if you say that, hey, I'm from a tier 2 city and my developer does not do traditional marketing, don't run Google Ads. Don't run Google Ads. That's my answer to it. Okay. It is not compulsory to run Google Ads. You run them only when they're profitable for your business, right? So if Google Ads, if the developer is not doing traditional marketing, skip Google Ads and just use Meta in that case. Okay. I hope that clears this Google Ads part. Let's move on to the next one. Meta ads. So now what are meta ads and when do you use them? Meta ads are ads on Facebook and Instagram. These are impression based ads. Okay. Impression heavy ads. These are to be used for all projects. You can use them for all projects, but increasing the impressions is key. It is extremely important for your profitability that you increase the impressions here. Now, what do I mean by impressions? Impressions are nothing but the number of times your ad is seen. Okay. The number of times your ad is seen is impressions. So even if one person sees your ad 10 times, we count them as 10 impressions. Okay. So that's what it is going to be like. So now understand that your entire focus for profitable meta ads is to increase the impressions. How to work on the quality, etc. We'll look at that. For now, you have to focus on increasing the impressions. If you're increasing the impressions, you're going to run profitable meta ads. And in order to increase the impression, you need to do these two things that are highlighted on your screen. Number one is highlighting the USP in your creative, right? You create certain images or videos for a particular project to run ads, right? So that is a creative. Now in that creative, you need to highlight the USP. What are USPs? USPs are unique selling propositions or unique selling points, right? What is unique about your project is the USP. Now, there are multiple USPs in real estate. A few of them are USPs like pricing, payment plans, amenities, location, developer, any other schemes that you're offering, etc., etc. All of these are USPs, right? Whatever is valid for you, whatever is your project's USP, you need to highlight it. You need to highlight it. You don't have to sit and just mention it. You need to highlight it. A very good example that I love giving always is the payment plan USP. So in Dubai, in the Dubai market, everybody is aware that the Dubai marketing is doing phenomenally well, and it will only keep growing from here. So in the Dubai market, there was a developer who categorically only mentioned and marketed the payment plan. Okay. He said pay 1% per month. That's all. That was the communication. That was the USP. And that was what they were trying to communicate to people. So all they were doing from airports in India to billboards in the UAE to digital ads everywhere around the globe, all they were doing was pay 1% per month and you get your own Dubai investment. That's exactly what they were doing. And they built it from there and they've sold it like anything. I'll show you the example of those creatives as well. Pay 1% per month, Dubai. Okay, so you will see a lot of these examples. If you even look at this particular, just make a Google search and you will see a lot of these examples. This is basically the company Danube. This is the company they started with it. Obviously, a lot of people followed it, but Rizwan Sajan, I don't know how to pronounce, but Rizwan Sajan is the person who's behind the company, and that was his thought: pay 1% per month, and it did incredibly well. People don't even know how much square foot the apartment is. They don't know what floor they're going to get, but they're still booking apartments from here in India because the deal is such, and the communication is around that. Okay, if they would have run normal creative that this is the square footage you're going to get, etc., etc., they would have never been able to get the kind of business that they've got just by highlighting the USP. So however small this might seem to you, the impact that it has on your marketing is incredibly high. Okay, so again, if the offer is not in your hand, probably the amenities are, right? Something is there that you are selecting that project for something, right? So that is exactly the USP. That's what you need to mention. The other thing is creating unique creatives that are visually appealing, right? See, understand, on social media, I always say this, there are only two things that sell. And when you are on the social media next time, you need to verify this. There are only two things that sell on social media. Number one is beauty and number two is value, right? Now, if you are not offering value on social media, because see, when you're running real estate ads, you can't really offer value in those ads, right? Real estate will give them value after 10 years, maybe. But that particular moment, that particular ad, that is not valuable to them at all. So you are left with only one option, that is making it beautiful. Because if it's not beautiful, people are not going to even look at your creative, let alone reading it and giving you a lead. Okay, so you have to focus that it has to be beautiful. Do you know a fun fact? Most of the people who are on social media are scrolling more than reading. You would also probably do the same. You are scrolling more than reading, right? So how do you make sure that people are reading something or viewing something? Only when you make it unique, attractive, and visually appealing. And that is exactly what your creatives need to do. How do you do it? You create great videos, you create great graphics. When we get into the meta ads part, we will look at all of this, is where we understand what are the kind of creatives that you can create, what are the good ones, what are the bad ones, what work, what doesn't work. All of it, we'll look at it when we do this in detail. But this is how you run profitable meta ads. So now just doing these two simple things, your impressions are going to increase. Why? Because people were earlier scrolling. Now instead of scrolling, because the creative is unique and visually appealing, they're going to stop at the creative. And once they stop, the impressions are increasing. All of this is when you keep the budget constant. So more impressions is going to mean that more people are seeing your ad, right? And there are more chances of getting a lead. All of this is at the same cost. Your budget is the same. You're not changing that. Your budget is the same, but the CPLs go much, much lower. Okay, because the impressions are increasing, right? Again, CPLs are cost per leads. I hope we are clear with that till now. So that is how you decide how to run profitable meta ads. So again, if the developer is not offering you appealing creatives or good looking creatives, what do? You create your own creatives. Okay, create a video, create an image. Obviously, we'll talk about what all you can create, but then create them. Never run meta ads with creatives that are not good enough. If they are not good enough, they will never get you the kind of business that you want from them. I hope that's clear. And that is how you understand that how to make meta ads profitable and when to use them.